So, good morning, Cameron, and welcome to Business Spotlight Series. Cameron
Morning,
is the
yourself.
MD of Stirling Distillery. Stirling Distillery, the home of Stirling Gin. June and Cameron McCann decided to go for something different, and on October 28th, 2015, they distilled their very first bottle of Stirling Gin. So, Cameron, would you like to tell us a little bit about what you do and how you got into the spirits business?
Um, Probably easier to tell you how we get into the spirit business and where we are now. My wife and I used to own a couple of whiskey shops, one in Loch Lomond, one in Stirling, and we seen the build up of the gin. And then about 11 years ago, probably now, we started the Stirling Whiskey Festival. From there, we then seen, as I say, the build up of gin, and we were asked to do a gin tasting come gin festival, and then we created we think one of the first, if not the first, gin festival in the country, in Stirling. Obviously, we walked out and had a great event. I think there was about 800 folk attended, and me decided, you've got gins from here, there, and different places in the country. Why isn't there one from Stirling? And over the next 9 months, I created it. Not knowing, I knew the basics of distilling, I knew the basics of flavour profiles, but not knowing a huge amount about it all. And we come up with the Stirling Gin as it is today.
Wow, what a journey. So, Cameron, what's a top three learnings you've had in this journey that you would like to share?
Hopefully, uh, believe in yourself and don't be scared to fail and listen to advice. Not necessarily take it, but listen.
Correct, yeah.
That's probably the three things I would say.
Very good. Great three insights. There you go. And what motivates you, Cameron? What drives you?
What drives me? Probably the end goal, which coming, or not the end goal, but always putting goals in front of yourself to challenge yourself. At the present time, we are ripping out our still room and developing it into a whiskey distillery. We won't forget our gin. We've got another warehouse in Stirling where we'll make the gin, where we're making the gin. But always setting yourself goals and targets.
Yes. Was it Richard Branson who said, if your goals don't scare you, they are not goals, they are tasks?
I don't know if it was him or not, but it certainly sounds right. Having sat here this morning and speaking to somebody about other parts of our business, whiskey cask purchasing and all the rest of it, the numbers do scare me sometimes.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Um, what um, what do you owe your current success, you think, to?
Hard work, not taking no for an answer, um, having a good team round you, a trusted team round you. It takes a while to find that trusted team and looking after that trusted team.
Mhm. How many people do you have in the team at the moment?
We've got about 15. Some of them are tour guides, which are part time, but equally as important. Students who are part time. But some of the students, because we're obviously next to Stirling University, we allow them to do the tour guide stuff, but we also see them and see what their abilities are and give them the chance to improve, develop their skills, and even use some of their learnings at university within the business. We've got a girl at the moment who's doing marketing. We gave her an extra hours to do marketing for us because we could see her skill sets were worth it.
Yes. Wonderful. Have you have you found many businesses have found recruitment very, very tough across industries? Is that something you've come across as well?
Recruitment's not tough. Recruiting good people is tough. It's like making gin is not difficult, but making good gin is very difficult.
Yes.
I would say the same. It's a bit like when we were redeveloping the distillery building from scratch. I say we had to kiss a lot of frogs, as in tradesmen, excuse me, to get the right ones to do the work we wanted to the standard we wanted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's getting the right people.
Yes. There is this phrase which is goes slow to recruit the talent you want, fast to fire. If it doesn't work, don't hang on to it.
No.
Yeah.
And we've lost staff, and some have decided we're not for them. Because at the end of the day, we challenge our staff. We generally do. But most of them step up to the mark and beyond because they know they've got our support. And those who don't step up to the mark usually fall by the wayside and leave of their own accord.
Yes.
I don't think we've actually told anybody to leave. They've realised themselves they're not up to the task.
Yes.
At the level we want.
Yes. Well, they say they could go faster somewhere else. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Great. Now that you've got management experience under your belt, is there anything you would do differently if you were to start again?
Management experience. I would I'm from an environment and an age where when I first started working in the 80s, a PC was a police constable. And I happened to have been a police constable in the 80s. I sometimes think now I'm not built to deal with the modern world in the staffing and human beings' requirements and the way they need to be treated. I'm very much of the old school. So I would probably tell myself, breathe, step back, engage brain before I do anything. That's what I would tell. Whether it would work or not, I don't know, but that's what I would tell myself.
Mm. Very interesting. Yeah. When you were growing up, Cameron, was this something you always wanted to do?
Not at all. I had no idea. I first tasted whiskey underage on the 29th of July 1981. Very precise date. The reason I know that it's the day Charles and Diana get married. I was in the Isle of Jura with my friend and his family on holiday, and a gentleman came into the cottage where we were staying and said, right, you two boys, come with me. And he took us round a whiskey distillery. We didn't have a clue what we were going round, to be brutally honest, and he gave us a taste of something at the end of it. And I went off in my life, travelled, became a police officer in London and all the rest of it. Moved back to Scotland, had lots of issues, mental health issues, physical issues that I fought back from. And then my wife and I decided to start the businesses. And we started a whiskey club in Drimmen. And we had somebody come in to present a whiskey brand to us. And I was telling this chap the story. And I said, all I can remember about him is he had orange steel toe caps on his boots that were worn out. And excuse my French, the chap turned round. That was fucking me. So it was about 34 years later, I met the guy again. He'd always been in the whiskey industry. I just come to it, and he still remembers me from that time. I
Yes.
remember a person, and that's one of the regrets I never done, was not being myself and joined the police. I wish I had the confidence then as I do now, and I wish I had the support I did do now that I had then. I would have maybe have branched out and done more for myself back then rather than get into the police force.
Yes. That's a great share, really, Cameron, to be yourself, to be authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the problem with me is I am very open, and you don't get many filters. I'm kind of
I can see that.
you'll soon realise if I don't like you, and you'll also realise very quickly if I do like you.
Yes. I love the mantra, you get the people you deserve.
Yeah.
You get the result you deserve. Yeah. So yeah, being yourself, being authentic, it's yeah.
And it's been honest to yourself. If you're honest to yourself, you're honest to the staff and to your
Everybody,
business.
yes. Yeah. Excellent. Great. Thanks for sharing that. What are your aspirations, looking at, say, the next 5 years, what are your aspirations for the next 5 years in the business?
Well, we're going to produce our own whiskey, have it bottled and out on the market is probably the main thing. We want to grow the business. We want to expand the footprint of the business in Stirling and the land. We want to buy more land. And I was at a meeting yesterday with the local council, and my point was to them was, when we go and speak about our business, whatever it may be in the world, we don't actually speak about our business. We speak about Stirling, the city.
Yeah.
And we see ourselves as ambassadors for the city. Because there's not any real, there's no, in the Stirling city itself, there's no global drinks companies, albeit we are very small, but we want to be bigger and we want to take Stirling with us.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's got character. Sterling. It's got character. In terms of do you do so? Who are your in terms of geographical? Who do you serve geographically?
With actual gin and customer base, it's global. For the distillery, for the visitor centre side and all the rest of it, it's equally the same. It's global. We have tourists in from literally not every country in the world, but certainly a vast majority of them have crossed our door in the last 4 or 5 years, even though we were closed for some of that time with COVID. And it's quite, I mean, this week alone, I'm not in the distillery very much. This week alone, I know we've had French, German, Australian, I met USA, Croatian, alone this week.
Incredible. So a lot of potential there. What is your main challenge at the moment, would you say?
Space, as I just said to you. Because of where we're based in the Castle Rock in Stirling. We're in an old Victorian building that we bought, so we've not got a lot of space to play with. There is a bit of land at the back of our ground that we want to buy from the council, but the council, being the council, don't move fast.
Yeah,
there was houses on that land, but the houses have been pulled down, and the council don't really know what they want to do with the land. As I say, the council don't move fast. The houses were pulled down in 1953, so just the 70 years.
Yeah.
And we are just trying to buy this bit of land, and we could expand the business.
Yeah. Okay, so space is one challenge. Any other challenges you're facing at the moment?
Not really. I mean, space is the biggest one, and the space leads to logistical challenges and manufacturing challenges. But if we can get this land,
It's
it
a
will need.
bottleneck, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it'll mean a big investment into the business, and it'll mean a big investment into Stirling as well.
Yeah.
But we think we are a great company for Stirling, but not everybody does for whatever reason, because a lot of folk could be the old phrase, not in my backyard.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And if you do you have so if you started your business again, what would you do differently?
I don't know if I would do anything differently, because you don't know you're doing anything wrong until you fail, or until the challenge comes up. And then if you've done everything correct, you've probably not pushed yourself. So you do need to have failings, mistakes. Mistakes aren't mistakes if you don't learn from them.
Yeah. That's a great insight. If you haven't made any mistakes, you probably haven't pushed yourself hard enough.
That's exactly.
Great share. Thanks for that. Cameron, do you have any advice for your 18-year-old self?
Don't listen to my headmaster. Listen to your heart with a bit of balance in your head. I joke that I was in the police for many years, and I was very good at some things in the police. I wasn't good at others. I joke that because of what I do now within the business, and I do all this the deals the business does sort of thing. I always joke that if I hadn't been a policeman, I'd have been a really good drug dealer. So I love doing deals.
Yes.
I'm not saying I would have been a drug dealer. That's just
Yeah.
a
I
metaphor.
understand.
But that's what gets me up in the morning, is the deal.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, Cameron, I love your frankness. Before we wrap up, is there any particular event or offer you would like to share with those watching this recording that would like to sign up to?
Yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to come and visit, and I'll get you a promotional code, they can come and get 50% off a tour at Distillery and see what we're about. And if they're really unfortunate, they might meet me. If not, they'll meet one of the wonderful tour guides we've got.
Brilliant. I mean, I'm going to take you up on that because my brother, he's in Valencia, Spain. He comes here once a year. He loves whiskey and gin. So I'll take him up for the tour. There you go.
Okay, cheers, mate.
Great. So, Cameron, it's been a real pleasure having you join us at the Spotlight series today, and for sharing your experience, wisdom, and frankness. Thank you so much.
No problem at all. It was nice meeting you.